I just don't understand. I don't understand what's happening, why I was abandoned. I don't understand why my husband just left me. And I don't know. I apologize for everything. It just hurts to be like in this planet right now. Even though I know he wasn't happy and I tried really hard, it just kind of hurts to exist right now. If that makes any sense to anybody watching this. I'm sure many of us feel that way, but it kind of just hurts to pretend to be a person like everybody else. Everybody else is just going about their lives like... It's not easy for me to do that. It's not easy for me to do that anyway, but it hurts. It hurts. I just don't understand. I wish I did. Maybe I deserve it. It still hurts though. And I know there's a lot of you that feel this way. Whether or not you're able to do this, or if you have people around you like to support you that you can talk to. Like I don't. That's why I have a camera, but or go to your dog, or it just hurts to be left and have just all kinds of questions. And maybe I deserve it because he was upfront with everything with me, and I thought I was, and I definitely tried my best. I don't know if he knows that, but I would never just go away and make him feel like he's worthless, not good enough. It just feels weird, like walking into certain rooms and nobody's here. Nobody's here. Even if you were still alone with somebody. I don't know what I did, but this is real heartbreak. And I don't even know why. Never cheated. Never. Maybe he's with somebody new. I don't know. A new supply, a new girl. Maybe he thinks the grass is greener. Maybe he just needs time. I don't know. But to be abandoned like this and wonder is tough. It's tough. When you open your heart up and you love somebody and then they leave you, they abandon you, or they just don't say why, or you knew they weren't happy, but there's only so much you could do, or my heart is not here. Because I gave it to somebody else, and I don't like that whoever's doesn't care the most has the most power. That's so manipulative. And I don't want to play games like that. I don't want to play mind games like that. I'm too old for that. So I won't engage in that game. Because I know I'm enough, and I know I'm worth it. But it doesn't mean I'm not hurting. Because I am a lot right now. I'm such a recluse and a hermit that the two people that I did have as friends, I've pushed them away because they said, just, Jamie, you're being abused. You should have left a long time ago. And they want nothing to do with me. I can't help who I love, and I can't help. I'm not going to wait around again this time, though. I'm not going to wait around. That's once in a lifetime for a once in a lifetime person. And I did that for my husband, but I'm not going to do it again. I don't have it in me. I'm not going to wait around to decide if somebody chooses me. Or if he just needs to find himself, or he's having problems, or he just needs to get out of this hell house, which I'm still trapped in. I'm trapped here. Trust me, I am trapped here. I don't blame him for that. But he left me. Maybe I was a part, just all turning into the big, I don't know. But my heart hurts and I'm gonna go to bed. Goodbye. I've been looking online a lot about narcissists and supply, and I knew about everything from day one. He was honest with me about who he was. He had sociopathic tendencies. I have depression, I have anxiety, so I'm kind of alone. Still in the place where we were for the last 5 years. And he's gone. He just left. He took off. And probably he had reasons or whatever it was, but he was not happy. I tried the best I could. I made a lot of mistakes, but he just doesn't want anything to do with me right now. And everyone's saying, just take down the pictures, Jamie. And I'm on all these medications. People think I'm that crazy one, but I'm not. I see the good in people, even when, I don't know. This camera is pretty much all I have right now. I drew this picture for him. I don't even know. He won't tell me where he is. My husband of 5 years. We shared everything, and I knew everything up front, and maybe it was too much. I don't blame him for leaving because of our living situation, but he's completely frozen me out. I think he just hates me. I don't know what I did or didn't do. Maybe he found a new supply. Maybe he's a narcissist. I don't know. This is our wedding anniversary. So my brain is just all over the place. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel really alone and trapped. Yeah, I feel kind of like I'm in a prison, and I got a glimpse of somebody loving me and accepting me for who I was for a short time, and then it just disappeared. That's hard to let go of, but I guess I have to, especially if it wasn't real. I don't know. I don't have any answers right now. Just big zits and no sleeping, and this is probably what he wants. Maybe he found a new supply or somebody else, or I don't know. I have no support system to get through things like this, so this stuff is everywhere. Maybe I did create a fantasy. That's what everyone's saying. That's kind of mean. I just don't know how you can go from saying someone's your angel and your other half and the love of your life to hating them or just discarding them. I don't get that. So I'm not going to throw this away, but I'll flip it over for now. I keep writing like essays and texts, and he has like one word. And maybe I was just lonely. I'm not making myself a victim here, but I hurt a lot. I've probably pushed away the one friend I had. Kind of dedicated the last 4 years to being a wife and being the perfect wife, because I figured if I did that, nobody would ever leave me, right? Nobody would ever. I don't know. How can I be so smart but both so stupid at the same time? I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I'm crazy. The stuff that would normally distract somebody right now, like a dog or a supportive family, or I don't have. I did all the stereotypical crazy girl stuff when all of a sudden the person that she loves, who thought loved her, just disappears. My husband just, if it wasn't for me saying in the text, "Is this you slowly moving out?" when he told me he was going on a trip to New Hampshire, I helped him pack because he's been down and stressed and just he didn't want to spend time with me anymore. And I, of course, thought it was all me. I didn't know what I could do aside from have him get help professionally. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was other things, money, but I was willing to help. Maybe he thought I didn't help enough or give enough, or maybe I was mean, or I don't know, but I apologized for whatever, and he just left. And when I sent that text, he said, yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. And then when I sent him essays, where are you? Why are you leaving like this? What did I do? I'm sorry for everything and anything. He just, no answer. And then it was just, when can I make arrangements to get my stuff? Just very just not like him, or the good part of him that I knew, even if, I don't know, if that wasn't real, or maybe I messed it up, I don't know, but my heart is hurting. And I've been watching all these YouTube videos about narcissists and the stuff they do when they discard somebody if they find a new supply. And he doesn't have much, I don't have much, but we tried to make something work. I didn't care about money for the most part, but maybe because he started having so many issues with that, he was feeling that that's all women want from him at this point is money. Maybe he found some other woman. Maybe he knows that because I'm mentally all over the place that he couldn't tell me, so he would slowly eke his way out. But he just hasn't told me anything, and he literally has sent me 3 texts, and I haven't seen him in like almost 2 weeks. And none of the texts say I love you. They all just say I basically am out of the house, and when can I come get my stuff? And I was the freak. I called his father and left a message. I said, is he okay? Just things that someone who you thought was the only person in your whole world, and they're gone suddenly, that you would do. And I'm like all these stupid cliche women. Don't judge anybody though. And I'm sorry for all those people that, you look at them nowadays, because our world is so, everybody's so lonely and disconnected, even though the internet, it's not real. The internet didn't exist. I was married, and maybe I don't know. My head hurts. I've been crying all day. I have to do this on my own. They gave me all kinds of pills when they put me in the mental institution. So it's like every cliche for the crazy woman who gets dumped. And he walked out on me the first time, but he said I pushed him away because I made it all about my feelings, my depression, my anxiety. So I was trying so hard since day one. I gave him the second chance again. I flew out to Florida to see him and said, let's try this again. And he was honest about everything up front. I just want to be loved like everybody else. And I was. And accepted. You can't fake that. Even if you're a narcissist or a sociopath or half sociopathic, whatever it is he said. I don't care if I'm revealing that. He wouldn't mind. I'm just as crazy. But I have a big heart. And I don't want to get a dog right now because I can't take care of it. I have no money. I applied to a couple jobs, but I haven't really heard back. He had a lot of baggage, but he also came into a really stressful living situation here. Just the way this is happening right now is so bad. It could have been different if he would just talk about what's going on. I don't know if he's trying to protect my feelings or what it is, but silence is never good. Talk about stuff. I'm a lot, I know it. I've been through a lot. Not like anybody else, but I wish I had an elephant with me. I'm so insane. Okay. I was sad. I'm sad. Just a lot of silence, no answers, and somebody just, they say that you're the love of their life, and then they just leave. And it hadn't been good the last few months, but I was trying so hard to give him space. I just felt like no matter what I did was wrong, and maybe it was building, but Maybe nobody cares about this. I have to though, right? Okay. I don't want to cry because it just makes my head hurt more. I just want to get a hug from somebody. Just tell me everything will be okay, or at least explain. I just don't like not knowing things. And for the last few years I dedicated everything to my husband, and now he's disappeared. And doesn't want anything to do with me and hates me for some reason, or I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna face in the other direction right now like this. I'm just gonna do like this. And then I'm left with all these. And maybe these aren't real, but I'm just gonna turn them around. I don't want to throw anything away because then it makes me feel like, I don't know. Am I just like naive? I don't know. Oh, crying really makes your head hurt. I don't want to fight hatred with hatred. I don't want to fight darkness with darkness. I don't want to do that. I sent all the essays and the texts back and forth. He's just one line. I don't even know if it's him, and I sounded like even more of a crazy person by saying, is this even you? Maybe it's a new girlfriend. I don't know. I thought we were married for life. I don't know. I'm just gonna turn these around before I become like, I don't want to be Bridget Jones. So I'm not gonna throw the stuff with the guy away. I'll just turn it around for now. Everywhere there's like a heart I bought. There's like a little mementos of our stuff, and then videos. And I think maybe I made those videos because psychologically I knew that eventually this would be over and he would leave me again. And I have abandonment issues. So psychologically, maybe I was documenting all that stuff because I knew it was gonna happen. Putting stuff like this everywhere. Look at this. There's even like a little angel picture. No. Maybe I did do something bad. I don't know. So I'm gonna stop obsessing. I literally left my phone somewhere and I shut it off because I can't. I just don't want to be near it anymore. It's just bad news for me. So he only seems to want to respond to any text message. He won't pick up a phone call. He ignores everything, ignored my calls, so there's no human anything. He only seems to be concerned about his stuff, which I guess at this point is like a TV and an Xbox. Not this stuff. So I said if he wants it, he can come tomorrow at 3 a.m. in the morning if he's still here in his work schedule, and if he wants nothing to do with me. And I have resentment to my parents because they made it hard on him. They made it hard on me my whole life. Doing this for posterity, I guess. I just wonder who's gonna protect me now. And when I'm older, who's gonna take care of me and accept me? Who knows everything about me and still accept me? And who's gonna fight the bad guys for me and help me? And stuff like this just makes me want to withdraw even more. And I don't know what happened. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, but you know, people know your little idiosyncrasies. I gotta stop. And I'm pushing everybody away. Because he just left me without a heads up. Maybe this is why. Maybe he knew. I don't know. Maybe he felt like he failed. Maybe I failed. I don't know. But this wasn't the way to do it, obviously. I gotta stop obsessing.
Hi, what's your name?
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Dylan Fisher.
Where were you born?
Okinawa, Japan.
What year?
1983. Fast forward all the way to the early 20s. I met Miss Jamie Lee in Orlando, Florida. It was my first job in Orlando when I just moved there out of nowhere. And I was a telemarketer for a timeshare company called See and Do Orlando. And we actually started on the same day. And we sold timeshare vacation packagey things to complete strangers over the phone. Was it
something like
you
that.
who gave me the worst case
Yeah, that was
scenario
me.
book? Okay, yeah, because this book was awesome because it basically it was called Worst Case Scenario. And what it was it was just like every page was a how to get out of some sort of crazy situation. Like if somebody's shooting you, what to do. You know, serpentine. How to break into a car in case you need to rapidly like get into a car chase and you don't have a car, and how to hotwire a car was in there. Basically everything that you see every 80s action star knows how to do automatically was detailed in this book on how to actually do it. And it was a really cool book. Using books as an icebreaker. That's guys and girls, if you can take a book and give it to somebody, be like, I think you will like this book, and they actually like that book, you're awesome.
Yeah.
You win dating. We're going to be skipping a lot of stuff, because a lot of the stuff, the details that we're skipping are actually classified, so.
And my website.
This is back when people actually called each other.
This was back when people called each other and didn't have social media.
And
so
we
for
didn't text. She gave me her phone number, and I actually called her on the phone. I was like, hi, you gave me your number.
Yeah.
I called you, and I arranged a date at the NASCAR Cafe at Universal City Walk.
Yes.
Back when they had the cars. Like, this was in the NASCAR Cafe at City Walk, if you've ever been there. Had like a bunch of cars out front. So I arranged to meet her at the cars. And I was like, wow, I'm going to take this girl out a date. I'm going to really do this up because I'm not much of a dater.
Wait.
I don't really know how dating works. So I like actually put on clothing other than...
Did you? I don't
No, I wore
remember that.
I wore the jacket, but I had a long sleeve shirt underneath it. It was something other than a t-shirt and ratty jeans.
I can't remember.
Which for me was dressing up. I wore a white button-up shirt
You
and
did?
a pair of black Dickies. I had my Chucks on because I only own one pair of shoes at a time.
Yeah. Still true to this day.
She went for it. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, I'll be there 3 today. That's 2 hours. Are you okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
You're calling me now to arrange a date for 2 hours.
Yeah, you said that.
And so
This is true. I can't believe
I got as dressed up as I did. I put on my, I had like, I think at the time I had like 4 t-shirts, all of which were black with some sort of sarcastic white text on them.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like I had like a whole collection of shirts that were black.
Yeah.
And they would like say something like, I need attention. My top 3 at the time were the bureaucracy kills.
Yep.
First thing we do is kill all the lawyers. When I get paid, the first thing I buy is books or some shit like that. So I had all those shirts.
I remember the bureaucracy.
And I had like 2 pairs of jeans. Like, you know, imagine this is like a white button-up shirt and not a blood-covered jacket. And basically you roll it up to here. That way you're business casual. I think I had a mullet too.
What was I? Do you remember what I looked like by any chance?
You showed up wearing a
So-
nightie. You were wearing a nightie and a sweater. You were dressed exactly as you're dressed now. In fact, I think it's the same nightie.
This is where my husband is lying. I'm not on camera, but I know that's
No,
not
seriously,
the truth.
she showed up. No, it was a muumuu. You showed up in a muumuu.
That, like a tube. It's a
It was
tube top dress.
it was a green tube top dress.
Was it?
Yes, that's what you showed up in.
Okay, that seems plausible.
So
we met
because that
at-
was during
I remember that.
when we lived in Florida. You had 9 of those
Yeah,
tube
that's
top
true.
dress,
That's
and
true.
those were just like your go-to. The way
Yeah.
your 90s are your go-to now.
That's true.
So nightie and a sweater is her go-to now.
Yeah.
Back then it was tube top dress and like a little. It was like the most pathetic
do that-
article of clothing. This.
Yeah, do that
It
again.
was like the worst article of clothing ever because it wasn't a vest. It was like the sleeves were to here, and it just like covered this part, but it didn't really button in the front. It was just like this little thing that it was just like shoulder coverings. So, got ready, which was put on black pants, put on white shirt, look in the mirror and just fawn how awesome I am, grab jacket, put on jacket, and walk across the street to Universal. the first phone call, 2 hours later, we're to be meeting. After hang up phone, is in bathroom, finished pissing, changes clothes, does this, puts on jacket, and then walks across the street to Universal. Arrives at the point where we're supposed to meet girl, sits on the hood of car, lights a cigarette, basks in how awesome he is, and then realizes he has to kill an hour and a half before she arrives.
Well, you live very close. He lived within walking distance. I had to drive because I lived by Disney. He lived by Universal.
She lived like right off Disney property in like this place, and I lived literally across the street from Universal. It was a date, huh?
I didn't think it was
She still claims it wasn't a date to this day. Ladies,
it wasn't a date.
If a guy says, hey, let's go catch dinner and a movie at this place.
We're hanging out.
That's that's a date. We've had one non-married, we went on a couple dates when we were living together down in Florida. We went to like we actually went out a lot. We
went out all the time.
We go out all the time.
But we also were benefiting because where we lived was like the tourist hub of the world.
Oh yeah, we went and saw like
so we could see firecrackers every night.
We saw pirates
swinging from things. Yeah, we could see everything all the time. So we were both in like the entertainment hub other than Vegas. But no, I remember we were there, and then you had, I remember we went to go get nachos at the NASCAR Cafe, which is no longer there.
Best nachos in what?
It's no longer there.
The NASCAR Cafe is gone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They replaced it with something, I don't know the exact things.
Best nachos in fucking Orlando were at the NASCAR. Those nachos so good, yes. You eat the nachos.
And then you showed me fish.
Yes. Because, Universal City Walk and Universal Property, they have this artificial river lake system, and I've always been a night owl. So one of my things that I did for fun when I didn't have any time was trespass on Universal Property after it closed. I would like to sneak under the fence and get into the parks. Just walk around the parks when they're closed, or walk around the City Walk area when it's closed, and just like ninjaing around, hiding from security guards. That's what I did for fun.
I did that at Disney World too.
Yeah, sneaking around the amusement parks after they're closed, and like being worried about getting arrested, and smoking tons of weed. Fish in this lake system, and of course the fish were planted there. And the fish had adapted and like created their own little nesting grounds in different areas. And I had noticed all of these, and I ran out of things to talk about. So
you did?
After dinner and a movie, I was broke, and I didn't want to just like part ways. I still wanted to spend more time with her. So I'm like, well, what the hell can we do at one of the most expensive places in the world without any money? This is going to be lame really fast. I think we'll discuss fish breeding for the next 3 hours. She loved it. We went all around the river and lake system, walking through different paths. And I showed her all the different fish nesting grounds and the fish, like, culture. And this is Bob the fish, and he fucks Fred the fish, and they're gay. It's okay. We were just like, hey, dinner and a movie in 2 hours? Cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we showed up at the movies, and we're like looking at the schedule and like what's available, and we're like, none of these are interesting ever. And so we went and we just wandered Universal Property.
And that's what I love doing, actually.
And little did I know, that was like her thing, is like was just wandering around theme park property. This is all like 12 years ago. Yeah. This whole story is 12 years from today.
Yeah. We've known each other a long time.
So 3 weeks go by. I think we hung out at work because we worked together.
Yeah. Took smoke breaks together.
We took smoke breaks together.
That was very bonding.
Every once in a while after work we would hang out, Netflix and chill, whatever. They didn't have Netflix back then.
Oh, we're old.
Oh God, we're so old.
We didn't have Netflix.
We watched the television. And they had these things where
big boxy things.
You had to show up at a specific time and turn on your TV, and then you could watch your show, but only for that 30 minutes of the day. It was so funny because our bosses used to get so mad at us because of public displays of affection. Because you're not allowed to show that you care about another human being unless you're gay.
Right.
In which case they can't say anything because it's a hate crime. But if you're straight, it's not. So we're good. So we got in trouble a lot for public displays of affection. We weren't like, we weren't like, going in the break room and like she wasn't like twerking all up on my schlong or anything like that. It was just like it was very like third grade PG displays of affection. Like, oh, I haven't seen you in 4 hours. Let's hug and a little quick mwah, kiss. There was no tongue.
Well.
There was no tongue, there was no nudity.
No.
my schlong did not get wet at work. So I don't consider that a problem. They said it was unprofessional. But I think the general synopsis, my manager at the time was named Mark, and he was the greatest. Mark was fun.
I didn't like him.
We were so good at what we did that they couldn't really do anything to us.
Right.
Because it was a sales-based job. And if you're making sales, you're basically invincible. Because it's telemarketing and you're like selling vacation packages to complete strangers. This is not something everyone is good at. This is not something that if they find somebody who's good at it, they will literally every time I took a dump, it was part of Mark's job to wipe me. It was in my contract. Great guy. Some people are being made uncomfortable by you and Jamie's public displays of affection, at which point I would say, bite me, and he'd be like, just go back to work. And I'd be like, yay. When we were at C&Do, as I said, I was the top salesperson in the company. She was like number 6 in the entire company or something like that. And this was when C&Do was Westgate. Well, Westgate Resorts eventually bought C&Do, but C&Do and Westgate were like, and Hilton, they were all like battling it out for the timeshare industry because people were dumb enough to be buying timeshares, and it was great. And C&Do was like in there, really just rocking it out with them. So the owner of the company was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna rent Universal Studios for our Christmas party." Yeah. And it was basically after the park closed, they opened it just to C&Do employees, and it was open bar, like everywhere you walked, open bar.
Yeah.
Open bar, all sorts of really expensive food, and all the rides were open, and it was ridiculous. And we were the only people there. It was just C&Do employees, and there was only like 300 of us. And Jamie chasing me and trying to keep me from humping random cow statues.
Right.
And then we decided to get engaged. We wound up. We had this thing where we're like, if we both had the day off, which we still do, we'll both wake up and we'll roll around in bed for a little bit and just like make baby noises and squeakies and whatever. Just stuff happens, and then we'll get up and we'll smoke the day's first cigarette. And we'll be like, "Dude, let's do stuff," and we'll just get in the car and go. We did this in Florida a lot, and one of those days we wound up in Daytona Beach, which is not far from Orlando. And it was in the middle of winter, so it might have been like right after the Christmas party that year.
It could have been, yeah.
Might have been right after the Christmas party that year. And we went to Daytona Beach, and this was this is the Dylan proposed to Jamie Lee story.
This is the famous story.
We went to Daytona Beach, and we're wandering down the beach, and there's this guy, he's a little homeless guy, and to make his monies, he's doing sand art, where basically he just takes a stick and draws stuff in the sand.
They were really good. I mean,
they were good.
They're beautiful. Obviously, they're meant to be looked at from like bird's eye, but sorry, go ahead.
He did a good job of them, and I was like, oh, I have an idea, and I was like, first I have to distract Jamie. So I think I convinced her that there was a puppy somewhere to go look at. No, wait, no. How did I did the smoothest thing ever. Sit on this fucking bench and stay here till I get back.
Didn't you say you wanted to go play a game in the arcade or something?
I did. I said I want you to wait here for me. I'll be right back. Right. I have to go into the arcade and try this game out. Can I come with you? No, stay on the fucking bench. And I ran. Because...
But it's not like I was,
I don't know how it worked either, guys.
It was gorgeous. I had a beautiful view.
I'm not good at this stuff.
I was relaxed. It was good. And then you just disappeared.
So I sat her down on a bench and then scampered into the nearest gift shop, and I was like, I need a ring and it needs to be this big. So I wind up with this little $10 cheapy gift shop Daytona ring with a fake pearl on it.
Black.
It was black. Yeah.
I liked it.
It was just $10, and I was like, I had to make sure it was the right size. And then I scamper really fast as I can back to the homeless guy. And I'm like, homeless guy, I need you to write this message on the beach for me. And he's like, give me money. I'm like, here's some fucking money. And he's like, okay, well, if this works, you owe me more money. And I'm like, you're a greedy fucking crackhead, but sure. And I fucking run back down the beach where Jamie is literally just sitting on the bench, just staring. Like her soul is just dying. Like, what the fuck is this idiot doing? Why am I sitting here on this goddamn bench? This is the most unromantic, horrible thing he's ever done. And I'm pretty sure he Dutch ovens me every night after I go to sleep. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Oh, hi, honey.
That's so not true. That's so not true.
She's got the most pissed off look on her face as I'm running up. But as soon as she realizes I'm coming, facing the ding.
That's true.
Just like that. So I run up and I'm like, oh my god, there is a yellow lab puppy over here. And if you know anything about Jamie, you know that if you use the words yellow, lab, and puppy, she will get in your fucking van and I will never see her again. Gone. Yeah. Forever. Gone girl.
That's true.
Girl with a dolphin tattoo.
Yep.
So, got her in the van.
There was no van.
I got her to come with me to the beach. I'm like, oh, the puppy's right over here. There's a puppy. And she's like, ooh, puppy. And of course, I had the homeless guy right on the beach. Will you marry me, Jamie? Blah, blah, blah. So I was like Sonic the Hedgehog. I was just like, and I had my little homeless minion taking care of shit.
Yeah.
So the homeless minion came through, and Jamie saw the message, Jamie, will you marry me, written out on the beach, and she was like, ah, yes, I will. And I'm like, here's your ring. And we're like, yay, the homeless guy's like, money. Money now. And that was the original engagement.
That was the original engagement.
That's the original engagement story.
Did you get down on one knee? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. She was like looking at the.
I was looking at the
artwork, and I got behind her and did the whole one knee thing, and then she turned around, and we were like eye to eye because I'm freakishly tall, and she was like, "Oh my God, you have blue eyes," and I'm like, "Oh."
Did I say that?
No. Oh. That's a joke.
Bubby, I can't tell which stuff is true and not true because you're so good with your storytelling.
It's a joke.
Alright, so I do remember that. And
she did at one point in our relationship, like it was like 3 months into our relationship, look at me and said, oh my God, you have blue eyes. And I'm like, really?
I could see myself saying that.
I'm like, really?
Well,
I didn't know I had blue eyes.
Maybe your glasses were on a lot, or I don't know.
No, I don't think I wore glasses at that point.
Yeah, you did.
I think I was contacts back then.
Yeah, that's true. You did have contacts. I think it was contacts.
Because most of the pictures I've seen of me in that time did not have glasses.
Right,
so I'm
that's
assuming it's contacts.
I went to go back to Orlando to visit him, and we kind of realized what?
It was time to get back together and do stuff right.
And then I think when it got to the point where it's like I just didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is my life. What am I doing leaving? You know, and
she would come down to visit me, and then it would be like
it was just like the wrong time.
She would come down to visit, and then it would be like it would be the day, like 2 hours before her flight leaves, and she's like, I'm rescheduling my flight. Fuck this.
And
that would happen for like 2 or 3 times, and we just decided it was like because I honestly for reasons
felt so happy.
She literally could not move to Orlando for reasons, and at that point there was no reason for me to live in Orlando, so we finally decided that I'd just move up here.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for a month, and each time it was time for me to go, I just said, this is what I want in life. Why am I leaving?
Yeah.
And then, we had to figure out life stuff, and once that got
practical, real life reasons, she couldn't live in Orlando, and I had nothing really holding me to Orlando at the time. So. Yeah.
But you had stuff you had to apartments and rent and whatever.
Yeah, I had to iron a couple things. I had to iron just a couple of last minute issues out before.
Right.
And then
until whatever.
I think it all accumulated with a phone call at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
A phone call at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
I waited for you for a year.
About 3 o'clock in the morning, the phone call came, and I was like, okay, I'm on my way now.
Yeah.
I'll be there in like 34 hours.
Because you knew I was waiting for you for like the whole year, right?
Yeah.
To get everything. I was basically letting him get his stuff together, and he said, have faith in me.
It took me a year to finish wrapping up all the loose ends in Orlando, and I finally got it down.
Yeah.
And then like 3 o'clock in the morning, I just called her up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm on my way to the bus station.
And I downloaded an app.
And I showed up, and in true Dylan Fisher fashion.
With nothing.
I literally just showed up with clothes on my back and the money in my wallet, and
then we got married.
And then we got married at the Labyrinth
on January 28th. And it's gonna be our first year anniversary.
Yeah, we're coming up on our first year anniversary here in like a month or so. This pillow is just ridiculous.
Is it starting to hurt you?
No, it's just there's so much pillow. It's
because I have to design it so that I have very specific things.
I don't like sharing my space. I want you to tell me your favorite Orlando aspect of our relationship that whole time we were there. Oh, your favorite part, your favorite place we used to go to in Orlando when we were there.
Oh God, I had to pick one.
One.
Oh.
God, Amura. That place was awesome.
You were the first one who actually, whether you realize it or not, introduced me to sushi.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about sushi before I met you.
Yeah.
This was 12 years ago.
I've always loved me some sushi.
I've heard of it, but I never, like, sat down and had proper, and I think one time you said, well, I'm going to take you out, we're going to get sushi.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then we went out somewhere and you got, like, all the workings, and I tried it, and it was super delicious. And
ever since then, she's loved sushi and she loves going to sushi places.
I love
but
sushi.
every time we go to a sushi place, she forgets what her favorite sushi is.
Oh, I do that a lot. I forget about a lot of anything that is my favorite in life.
So when we go to a sushi place, I have to order for her. Mm-hmm. At which point, when I order for her, she's like, ew, I don't like that. And I'm like, no, take a bite of it. And she's like, oh yeah, it's that thing I really like. To this day, we will go anywhere. Any Japanese restaurant, and I will order her something with barbecued eel, and she'll be like, ew, barbecued eel. I'm like, honey, you love barbecued eel. No, I don't. Take one bite of it. Oh, that barbecue eel.
It's true, but I think anybody can relate.
That and anything with tempura. She loves the living crap out of tempura.
That's a new development. But anything that, I don't know if you guys are in a couple or married or whatever, but when your partner or your husband eats something, even if you don't like it, or even if it looks gross, or something you would never eat, just because he's eating it and he's liking it or it looks delicious, I have to eat it.
Yeah, you do.
Because I want to experience
I cannot have food just for me anymore. For example, I'll make myself lunch while I'm at work, and if I know that Jamie's stopping by later, I will make myself twice as much of whatever I've decided to make, because I know what's going to happen. Jamie's going to show up, she's going to see me eating this thing, whatever it is, and she's going to be like, oh, let me try a bite. And she'll take a bite, and she'll be like, ooh, that's really good. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. And then she'll eat the rest of it.
No, I won't. It used to be the opposite. You always and you still eat my stuff.
It was like her pet peeve when we first got together.
Yeah,
it's so funny because she's completely switched strings. Her biggest pet peeve at the beginning of our relationship was somebody eating her food off of her plate.
Yeah, it still is.
She just would get so... I'd be like, oh, let me try a bite of that. She'd just give me this look like, I will rip your testicles off and shove them down your fucking throat.
You just take it.
And that was like the beginning of our relationship. About the midpoint of our relationship, I would just like seriously just like I would be like, don't give me a dirty look, and I just grab her plate and start eating it and be like, yeah, what? So in response to that, she has now decided that she is doing the exact same thing to me, which I'm perfectly fine with, because I believe that if you go out to like I believe like one of the things about like if there's two people
share everything
going out to dinner together.
Yeah.
I think that I honestly think that if you're both going to a restaurant you've never been to before, to have the best dining experience as a couple, there should be an open plate policy. Like, you should both order 2 different appetizers so that you can both sample them. You should both order 2 different salads or 2 different soups so you can both sample them, and 2 different entrees so you can both sample them, and then 2 different desserts so you can both sample them.
I like that idea.
I don't believe in building a wall in my dining experience. I don't believe in that. Me and Donald Trump could never date. Mainly because I'm not into orange people. I'm racist like that. Sorry. Just don't like orange people. They're gross. Wall. What were we talking about? Oh my God! No, this is the argument starting question.
No,
yes, it is. I will hear about this later.
No.
I will pick 3 words, and she will not like one of them.
That's not true.
And we will talk about it later.
No, because we did the husband and wife challenge, and look how good we did.
About 4 hours after the husband and wife challenge.
He's making all of this up, you guys.
I am not.
Yes, he is.
4 hours after the husband and wife challenge, what did you say to me?
That we are awesome and perfect.
About the aerosol spray.
That you know the reason why I do that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so here's a good one.
Pick 3 words to describe me.
Pick 3 words to describe me.
Okay, will you do me then?
Oh, God. Okay. I don't know if my vocabulary is big enough.
Okay, I will pick 3 about you.
Okay.
Honest. Humble.
Okay.
Strong.
Okay. I wouldn't call myself humble.
You see, you can't go after your own
I'm
word.
kind of an arrogant asshole.
You're not.
I'm not humble.
No, you're not.
All
That's
right.
your pretense. Describe your wife, Jamie Lee Fisher.
Kind, loving, generous.
Oh, thanks, Bobby.
I was trying not to do the I was really tempted just to start listing off the
Boobs.
boobs. Booty. What do they call this? Something's of harmony. The elements of harmony. I was just gonna list those off.
Oh, that's
Loyalty, generosity, honesty.
Is that what you were doing?
No.
nice. Oh, okay.
But visit Mystery Hill.
Which is where?
Mystery Hill. We'll talk more about that another time.
Yeah.
The Salem, like we always promised ourselves we'd actually go to Salem and spend a few days in Salem
I
actually
wanted to go there
enjoying
on
it.
your birthday.
Anything
Anything about it you're looking forward to specifically? 2017?
See what happens.
See what happens?
Okay, here's a good one. Remember when we were in Orlando, the nightclub we used to go to?
Yes.
Just so we felt like we were part of our, like, because we were
Generation?
young 20s.
Yeah, we were
Young 20s.
We're both outcasts.
And
Purposely, I think.
sometimes, like, we were like a really tight couple, but sometimes we felt like we were like turning old too fast.
I never
And
felt that way.
We kind of spent all of our time, if we went out a lot, we did, but we were like, we'd go out to dinner and stuff like that. So we kind of felt like we had missed out on the club scene and the bar scene.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't do that. So we actually, we decided we needed a bar to go to. So we went looking around and we found this one bar that had like a spinning dance floor, even though neither one of us was dancers, and they were cool and jazz. And this is the one that Jamie decided she liked, so I'm like, oh, this will be our regular bar. And I'm sitting there, and I remember that, like,
The floor spun.
one of the things I really loved about it is how cheap the drinks were.
Yeah.
Of course, what I didn't realize is that I'm 6'6", blonde, blue-eyed, and at the time was in really good shape, that I was getting my drinks for like 75% off. I did not realize this. I didn't find this out till like the fourth time we went to this bar. This is how dense I was. We went to this bar, and I would go there with Jamie. We would have a good time. We'd hang out, we'd dance, and we'd get a couple drinks at us. We were having a great time. And it was like the third or fourth visit to this bar that I started to realize that, first of all, the bar was almost always barren, because we always went there early. And that every time we went there, the only girl there was Jamie. I started to realize this.
I didn't feel bad about that. I was like, okay.
And I just liked it because the drinks were strong, crazy strong, and cheap. We could get like 2 drinks. Jamie would always get like some sort of, it was like some fruity thing you liked.
I like anything.
It was yellow.
Yeah.
I
Anything
can't-
like refreshing and fruity.
Yeah, like a mango and
Yeah.
It was a fruity drink. It was a fruity drink.
Well, look where we were.
Yeah. And I would always get a vodka and cranberry. And I swear to God, like I'd be like, yeah, bottom shelf vodka and cranberry, the basic stuff. It doesn't matter, you know. And this guy would like just grab a bottle of Grey Goose and like pour a whole glass of vodka and like take like the cranberry sauce and go, how are you doing? I'm good. So who's that? Your sister? No, that's my girlfriend. That's disappointing.
I'm on camera.
She literally is like, honey, I really want to shoot something today, and I want to shoot something right now while the sun is out and the light is good, but I really don't want to put on any makeup or anything.
No.
So could you just go sit in front of the camera and have me say stuff to you?
Because I'm not camera ready today. And I have to be camera ready, and I need a day off because I've been doing Vlogmas, and it's every single day.
Well, I got a surprise for you. About 30 minutes ago, I pooped myself.
That's fine.
Can't smell it. Can't smell through the camera.
I'm fine with that. Because now I have...
I made poopy.
That's okay.
I made poo-poo.
That's why I love you.
I made boom-boom.
That's fine. We're gonna wrap it up, I think. And have a cigarette. Wait.
How's everything going? Where do you think they're gonna look? Oh my God, my eyes are up here, mister. What? It's a nervous condition. I have to do this.
Well, because
They're very
you
chapped.
stare at them, so
They're very chapped, and I have some aloe vera on my
I don't know
fingertips.
why my nipples are this way.
I think having chapped nipples would be horrible.
That would be
It would
horrible.
be just terrible. Like, you just like take some chapstick and go. Whoop, whoop.
So,
My nipples are really hairy.
no, they're
It's very odd. Like, because I have a lot of this is all scar tissue. So like all this area that should be chest hair, it's just right here. It's just like a little poof.
No, you're not.
It's like a poof.
His nipples.
Like,
your nipples are not.
My
hairy.
nipples are really hairy.
No, they're not.
That's at least like 4 inches.
Wait.
Get in there. Get in there and grab that. Grab that. See,
It's
that's
not-
like 4 inches of just
No,
nipple
it's
hair.
not. Wait, I want to show
Nipple
something.
hair.
Wait, can you show your tattoo?
No. Which one?
He has my initials on his
This one?
chest. Is that my initials?
This one,
He has
yeah.
his initials and I have his initials.
Oh god, the camera.
There, see?
There's one.
J L. And then I have his full name on my back. Thanks for that. Boop. You touched my nipples. Look at my nipple. All right, I'm gonna end it, and then I'm just gonna take some quick photos, if you don't mind. I put on some hair, I put on some makeup. That's what the sociopath wants. They want to see how much they're hurting you. They've perfected this, but to what's going on right now, I don't want this to just be a repeat of what happened 10 years ago. I take full responsibility for anything I did. He was just really sad and depressed. I had just gotten out of the mental hospital myself for the first time, and I don't know what it was. It could have been my mother, who even now she pushed him away. She made him leave. But he seems to have included me in that because he just abandoned me. And even as I'm filming this, I don't know where he is. He won't tell me. He doesn't feel I have a right to know, I guess. He won't tell me what's going on. Are we still married? If he would have just said, I'm gonna just stay at this person's, every weekend he would start staying at this person from his job's house to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then he'd sleep overnight and get drunk and do stuff like that, which I was totally fine with, and I got. It was weird because the beginning of our relationship, and I hate to fall back on these psychology things, but it's the only way when you're literally abandoned and it's one of your greatest fears to try to understand what's happening, even though it makes no sense. They go through that love bombing stage and you're one, you know? I felt finally at peace and accepted and loved finally, and someone I've known off and on for 15 years. And even if the circumstances were horrible, which I understand they were, that's why I encouraged him to take a trip. He's still, as far as I know, reporting this, just left me high and dry. Even though the last couple of months he didn't want to spend time with me anymore, I don't know what's going on. I tried to reach out, obviously, right away when he said, I think it's what I'm doing, moving out, you know. How long? Is it just for a short period? Is it forever?
Are we still married? Is this just like a little break and then you get yourself together? But it breaks my heart. Jamie, you knew the red flags and you went in a second time. So you don't have any right to grieve or feel surprised. Yeah, I do, because I love him. This has nothing to do with him. This has to do with me opening my heart, which I don't anymore ever. And my hopes and my dreams and my future. And you know, he would say this thing a lot, like he felt he failed me. Both of us were far from perfect, but we were trying. We're these two broken puzzle pieces that, you know, we could bring the absolute best out of each other, excluding all the psychological mumbo jumbo. But one thing I do know at this point is I don't want to chase anybody that left me or abandoned me unless they can talk to me like a human, not through a box computer. Marriage is, you're supposed to help that person, right? Because God knows I would have given him the other half of my heart if he wanted it. He still has it. This fading, this just picking up and leaving when you're married now, because now it's a legal thing. And I'm sure I said things that encouraged him to just want to leave. I'm sure I did. And I'm a dick. I'm a dick for saying things like that. I'm a dick for putting people down. I will own and take full responsibility for anything negative I may have said to him, which made him feel less than, or I will completely own everything that I was just a dick about. I can be a really, really cold ice queen. And I think the person that you love, that I saw my future with, it comes out even more, especially when circumstances are stressed and hard. And I tolerated a lot from him too. A lot which I don't know if I'm going to talk about yet, because I don't know what's going on with us. I don't know if we're still married. I want to stay married to him for the rest of my life. That's my partner. That's my teammate. I'm not just going to abandon him when he's low, but maybe he felt I did during these last few months or year or whatever it was. Anybody living in our living situation, I completely understand it. But again, I would think that if you are married, it's important that you let your wife know what's going on, what you think you need to do in order to fix it, and not just run away, because that's making me feel that I'm not good enough, or my help isn't good enough. And to think that maybe he found some guy from work who he knows they won't bother him like my mother did living in my house, or, you know, abuse him or make him feel less than, because she's made me feel that my whole life. I think I pushed away the one or two people that I could consider sisters. Now they don't want to have anything to do with him or our marriage, so they haven't contacted me in days, so I'm alone. And I miss him. I don't know if he misses me. I don't know what's going on, but I think about the stuff, like the silly stuff. I hit my lip, by the way, it's a little puffy. I'm okay though. Sometimes we just can't control who we love, that's all. I don't know in the back of his mind if he thinks, you know, well, Jamie waited for me for 10 years, so I'll be able to go do whatever I want to do and she'll still be there, because I won't wait like I did last time, if that's what he wants. In my gut, I think the living situation just got to be too much for both of us. He's the love of my life. It's still programmed that way in my phone. The love of my life, I have no idea where he is right now and why apparently he hates me so much, or doesn't feel that I'm worthy enough to know where he is or what he's doing or what his plans are. Or maybe I got bamboozled. Maybe I'm naive and I got tricked again. Maybe I got used again. Maybe he just felt he had no more need for me. I just know what I feel. And I said I love you a couple times on those text messages, which we always would do. He didn't say it back. Just little things. And it's like those little things that make me think maybe he is discarding me and he found a new supply. Current supply, for whatever reason, isn't
filling them the way they need, they will slowly start finding another one and grooming another one, and then eventually they're just gonna leave you. They're just gonna discard you like you were nothing. And it's up to you to figure out how to pick up the pieces and to move on, if that's what you want to do. Or go crazy and fatal attraction-y and chase them and hound them down, but then remember you're chasing and hounding down someone that walked away from you. How this all happened reminded me of something that he did 10 years ago, which crushed my heart, and then I gave him a second chance. I think by this point it's fair to say that I'm an empath. Any of you armchair psychologists will say empath and sociopath? Jamie, you're nuts. You do not deserve to shed one tear. Sometimes the psychology books aren't always correct. Sometimes they are, but sometimes they aren't. And maybe I'm someone who knows my own worth and don't need someone to give me worth in a relationship. And my marriage was just more about having a teammate and just being able to be together and have fun together and have adventures together and laugh and kick ass together, and nobody fucks with the Fishers. That was our mantra. It is possible, I think, because I've seen the good that we can bring out in each other. This is probably like the best mood I've been in like a week and a half. Watch The Mirror Has Two Faces. It's so cheesy and it's so whatever, but I wanted to watch that movie with him for the longest time. I wanted to watch it with him when we were things were good, because it reminded me so much about how much he knew about me, and that's what made my heart happy. It was, just watch it. The Mirror Has Two Faces. It's with Barbara Streisand. She's like this dumpy looking woman who lives with her mother. My husband would always bring this up, which really bothered me. And it really bothered me because I felt like I was powerless to change the situation, which was my mother, who... That's another thing right now that is really making it hard, because I have tremendous resentment for her. If she's the reason that he abandoned me, I'm not talking to her. I want nothing to do with her right now, and she's still putting me down because she got what she wanted. I left the house. I can't stay there. I come back periodically if there's something I need to get, but he left me with her, always criticizing me ever since I was little. Never good enough. Never good enough. Never. Anything I did was ever good enough. Woe is me. I know. I'm allowed right now. I don't care. She's an asshole. So how do I cope? He's probably somewhere with a new girl, a new woman, a new girl, a new fuel source, playing games, being happy and whatever, enjoying them. That'll end though, or whoever he's with, or whatever guy he's with. If that was a friend, if it was a friend, and my friend said, Jamie, just come stay with me for a little bit, I would say, at least tell your wife where you are, man. Like, after everything you guys have been through, you can't at least show her the respect to at least let her know where you are? Don't just say, I'm fine, I'm okay. Because we would talk differently, again, unless that was during the love bombing stage that the narcissists do. His just he used to always be so attentive to me and my needs, and what I did, he matched and did more. He made me so happy. That's why I gave him a second chance, knowing who he was and all his baggage, which he has a lot. He has a cart. We're living in the house with my parents because I don't have my own house yet. I've been trying my whole life to get out of that house, and basically any money I have, it's been controlled by... I don't have that much to offer either. I'm not sitting here like I'm some huge prize, because I know I'm not. But what I have to offer, and what I always had to offer since day one, was love. I have a huge heart, and it's been through a lot of stepping on it and just ripping it apart, and a lot of people just running away.
my whole life looking for one person. And I have it, or I had it, and he just, from my perspective, allegedly, I learned that from Auntie's advice, from my fiance. For now, forever, I don't know. It's the not telling me that is causing this. It's the not letting me know what's going on that's causing this. And I have a feeling, because I know him that well, that this is what he's been doing his whole life. And I don't want that for him. As an empath, I think I've smiled maybe like 4 times since he's been gone. I miss him a lot. When things are bad, when things are whatever, but isn't it usually like if you love someone and have loved your life, when things get bad, you still make some kind of an arrangement? Like, you know, I just give me a couple months and I'll stay with my friend. And we'll figure this out though. Don't people still at least do that? Instead of just like abandoning the other person to fend for themselves? And his baggage has been harassing me on the internet for reasons I don't even know. So all I can assume is maybe he's doing the same thing with them, with everybody, allegedly. I have to keep saying that. There's a lot of bad in me. There's a lot of bad in him. There's a lot of good in me. And I think there's a lot of good in him. Maybe he just doesn't care about me anymore and he literally just discarded me. And in that case, it's all my fault for being dumb enough to think that if I love someone hard enough, if I encourage someone enough, if I'm there for them as much as I can be, they'll want to be better and for us and see us as a team and have a future. And he did for a while until he didn't. And then I don't know if maybe he started getting nervous or he just reverted back to old patterns, but I was always upfront and honest with him about everything. I never cheated with anybody. I never would do that with anybody, especially if someone was married, because that's a whole other, the distancing, the needing space in a marriage. I understand all of that. And in fact, I think it's needed. It has to. But I have that like over analytical brain. So when he finally came to me and he was so excited, he said, I'm gonna go take a camping trip to New Hampshire with my friends from work. And I said, I've never been to New Hampshire. Tell me what it's like. I'm excited. I helped him pack his bag. I gave him bug stuff, and I went to go get him when I would normally pick him up. And he said, I don't need a ride, and I probably won't need a ride either the next day. And then something in my brain he's been slowly staying wherever he's been going, and that's where he's gonna stay to get out of this living situation. So that's why I said to him, is this you slowly moving out? And he said, yeah, I think that's what it is. And then of course I had a mental breakdown. And I was like, well, I'm married. Are we married? I love you. When are you coming home? Answer nothing. I almost got to the point too where he wouldn't answer anything or say, how are you? Are you okay? Is this okay? It was just, when can I get my stuff? No response. But him and I was hoping one day to have kids with him. I can't have kids. Then that's what's happening. And he just couldn't get what he needed from me anymore. So he left me and ran to whoever he could get whatever from. He needed rides because he still doesn't have his license. I have been letting him drive my car. Debts up the wazoo right now, and if that were me, I would be extremely stressed also. And I understand all that. I do. To just up and abandon your wife. And I never once said, because I can't have kids, I didn't want him to have a relationship with, if he did or didn't have any other kids of his own. I never once said that. I thought that would be great, because then I could just give them back when I was done. I would have loved that. I never did anything to discourage that whatsoever, which is why it's so important to hear both sides of the story. And it's why I am filled with a lot of questions right now because it seems that there were a lot of times where things would be brought to me and I wouldn't understand why certain people were reaching out to me. And then I would put 2 together, I would put 3 together, and then they would make sense. And if anybody's watching this who knows what I'm talking about right now, I never once discouraged any kind of a relationship with anybody else because of my inability to have kids. In fact, I was super excited about it. Super excited about it. If anybody got that perspective, it was because of the other person involved shutting down and just not talking to me anymore about those things. Not even talking to me. Not even wanting to spend time with me. So that's absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. And I don't think I've said this once yet, and I'm not doing it for the woe is me thing, but I am doing it so people know about some things. When I could have kids, when we were dating, when I was dating my husband, this was a while ago, I had always had problems in that area. I did get pregnant. And it was a boy. And I lost it. And I think I did tell him about it. And this was at the beginning of when I started to, I know this is really embarrassing, but I'm one of those girls who was late to actually going to OBGYNs because I was just terrified. So I was one of those girls who was late to the game with everything. I did tell him that I was pregnant, we were gonna have a boy, and he died. So I was able to have kids at some point. I was never really excited about it though because of all the issues. Like I had polycystic ovarian, that polycystic ovarian thing that gives you the beard chinny chins. And like my periods were awful. They were just, you don't want to hear all these details. But anyway, I did get pregnant with Dylan. I told him after we broke up because the baby was gone. And I had to have a couple of surgeries. And then this was before the cervical cancer thing happened. So I think all those things kind of combined led to me eventually having a hysterectomy, and now I can't have kids because of that. And it was so uncomfortable all the time. And I said, if I am meant to have kids, I can adopt, or I told my husband we're gonna have like at least 10 labs and other dogs. Or I can be a stepmom. I don't mind, So never once did I ever hold him or anybody back. Not once. From any kind of relationship or anything like that. Only recently that I started getting like these messages on this Facebook fan page of mine that I have that I rarely even check. That were of someone just saying really horrible things about me and the fact that I can't have children and other things like that. And I would bring it to his attention just so he knew. And then certain people would deny it. So then I would send him, recently it happened again. I sent it to him just so he sees that from day one that I've always been honest and upfront with him and telling him the truth. And maybe that was dumb, but the heart wants what the heart wants. And if my heart has accepted crumbs a lot, I wish there was somewhere I too could go to escape if that was the case and reevaluate things. If my husband watches this, I love you, and I always have, and I don't know what else I could have said or done. And if it was the situation we were living in, then you're going about this the wrong way. And I still see a future. I still want a future. But if you don't, and if there's another person, that's your right to do. But the complete lack of who, what, when, where, why, how, I think is being misdirected right now. Or he needs help in some way, which I've offered that too, and nothing. I'm going to therapy once a week right now, trying to work on some of my issues. So this was perfect timing. I have abandonment issues, and my husband abandoned me right now. I want everything to be okay again. But One thing I know about myself is I will not wait around for somebody to decide if they love me and think I'm worthy again. I did that once, but at this point in my life, and we're both almost 40, then I would have, I think, probably thrown whatever ounce of self-worth and self-respect just out the window. And if other people are watching this, other girls, other guys, and they see some of the stuff that maybe I allowed, I don't want kids to think that this is okay or this is right. I want kids to be able to, if you get into a relationship with someone who I still feel is the love of my life, you have to have standards. You have to have respect for yourself. Most importantly, it's not even them, it's you. Because people tell us, can I treat you this way? And if you go along with it and you allow it, and it's no good for you, really, it'll come back and bite you right in the ass. You have to teach them how to treat you. And if you're slowly learning what you deserve and how you deserve to be treated, that's good, that's fine. Keep with that. Because for most of us, it's gonna take our whole lives to realize how we're meant to be treated. And that we shouldn't cower away. If somebody doesn't want you anymore and they're discarding you, then let them discard you. Move on, because maybe there's somebody else out there that wants someone just like you. If they're not discarding you and they're playing a game with you, my only advice is just don't join the game. Just say, we'll have an adult conversation about our relationship, our marriage, when you're feeling ready, and you go about your life and try and do something nice for you every day right now and take care of yourself. And when that day comes, because it will, it has to, just see what happens then. All right. Thanks for watching this, guys. Today is, I am not even sure what today is, but I have two options. My first option is I can go the route that everybody else goes when things like this happen, or I can go another way. So I have two roads that I can possibly go. Two roads diverge. I can go this way or I can go that way. One road is a road that I have been down many times before in my past. Many times. Another way is a road I haven't been down. Right now I am playing a game of emotional Russian roulette with myself, so to speak. And I'm the one who is in control of how my destiny can go. It can go one way if I choose to go down that one road, or it can go another way. And there are some times when I'm not certain which one I should do. There's times where I have broken down and I've been a mess, which you may or may not see depending upon what I decide to do. I am in a position right now where I have the choice. I have the choice to decide if I do what I've done because it's comfortable, because it is familiar, even if it's damaging, even if it's everybody's wrong idea. It may not be that black and white. It may actually be a little bit gray. But because I'm alone, I have the power to decide what happens. And today, I'm feeling different. Today, I am seeing things differently. The other day, I was seeing things very one-sided. I wanted to capture it because maybe it can do some good. And I am being very vague on certain things because I have realized, ultimately, I can choose whether or not to engage in certain games, maybe, that life throws at us. I can choose to play my hand, whatever I have, whatever I've been dealt,
whatever I lack, whatever I don't have, or I can choose to stand by the table and watch, but not engage. Today I choose not to engage. I choose not to engage because it's a road I've been down before, and when I went down that road, I didn't like myself. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, because I think I am putting way too much thought and way too much concern and way too much understanding into things that probably aren't doing the same for me. And why should I do that? That's pretty stupid. I am not the same person that I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago. I have habits. I am working on them. And today I don't want to be her. If a situation is out of your control, a situation is out of my control right now, there's nothing for me to do except let go and continue to live my life and try to be better, do better, and change the world in whatever little way I'm supposed to. I'll have down days for sure. Maybe I'll share them, maybe I won't. But I played that victim role really well for a long time. I played the woe is me role for a long time. And, you know, I'm just gonna lay here and continue to let life stomp all over me role. I still have those days, I do. But not as much, because you find that you get sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. To not give more to those people, places, things, whatever it is, that don't return it. And I don't mean that in a toxic way, because then that's expectation and that's dangerous. What I'm saying is during those moments where I just want to beat myself up to a pulp and punish myself for all eternity into the nethers of wherever, I'm gonna stop doing that. Because I think I've done that enough. And I didn't like how I felt when I did that. I liked how I felt when I was capable and I felt confident and happy and silly and funny and just uncensored and vulnerable. I didn't like the me that walked on eggshells or tried to make somebody like me or tried desperately to people please, because I was raised in an abusive environment that practically ingrained that into my brain. That you don't exist. You exist to please others. And a funny thing happens when you stop feeling like you have to please everybody else and only please the people that deserve it, or just maybe trusting the universe or trusting that person that they just have to do what they have to do and you need to do what you have to do. And it has nothing to do with you or your worth at all. And that's tricky. Whatever I'm supposed to do, whoever I'm supposed to be, whoever I'm supposed to be with, will be there. And I shouldn't have to become desperate or play a mind game or, you know, play any game. And when I feel like that's starting, I'm gonna stop. Full on. I'm just not gonna even engage. I'm not gonna play. Jamie of 10 years ago played the game, for sure. She played the game. She just had no self-worth, no self-respect, and she was far from perfect. She made a lot of stupid mistakes, did a lot of bad things, said a lot of bad things, but I'm just definitely not the same person that I was. Different me. I see a lot of things really clearly now that I didn't before, and that I definitely didn't see clearly years ago. So that changes a whole lot about certain things that I'm gonna engage in right now, and I'm gonna choose to just not do it and let certain things go. And if they come back, great. If not, it wasn't meant to be. But never ever take somebody for granted. Never ever think that they're not capable of change. Never ever think that somebody cannot outsmart you when it comes to mental Olympics, especially the people who have gone through them. You know how they send like the Special Olympics memes? The people that have engaged in the Special Olympics. Wait, I probably shouldn't say that. That'll get censored. But never assume anything about anybody, because everybody's fighting a different battle right now. Everybody is fighting a demon right now. Everybody is trying to do whatever they can to just breathe, and there are days like you right now where I am completely shut off from the world and I am completely helpless, and then there are days where I feel like I am going to kick ass and take names with every and any obstacle that comes in my way. There are certain things that I will no longer stand for. There are things that I will no longer accept. There are things that I will no longer put up with. And if being that way leaves me stranded on some desert island, then so be it. Because I will not go down without a fight, and I will not go down without standing up for what I know to be right and what I know to be true. I wake up days and I'm surprised that I have the strength and I have the courage that I do. Then there are also times when I completely fall apart and nobody sees it. My husband vanished. I have no idea where he is, who he's with, if he's with another woman. As far as I'm concerned, we're still legally married. And I find him falling into a same pattern from years ago. And then I was reacting the same way, and then I had to stop myself, because sometimes that's the right thing to do. Just let them go. If somebody wants to go, just let them go. If they don't want to take you with them, if you want to view that as them abandoning you, then let them go. For whatever reason, if something is meant to be, it will come back. I assure you. But let them go. And the me of years ago would have never said that. She would have forced, and she would have crawled, and she would have shown up on people's doorsteps. Like, how much more degrading and humiliating and embarrassing of a person do you have to be if someone rejects you, or if someone lies to you? And I'm not saying that it's the same person. This is other friends I've had in the past, believe it or not. Other relationships I've had, other boyfriends that I've had. I've had other boyfriends that I literally would just show up at their house, and when they blatantly flat out rejected me. They flat out rejected me. They wanted nothing to do with whatever I was. And for me, I was like, that can't be. I've been rejected my whole life. Somebody has to love me. And I would drive to their house if it was miles away and show up at their house. How degrading, and man, that was embarrassing for me. But I did it because I just wanted to be loved, like a little puppy. We just all want to be loved. But I didn't realize then that the actions that I was doing was making me look desperate and needy, and in fact pushes people away from you. And if you have to do that, if you have to make those sort of huge gestures, and if you have to go that far and degrade yourself that much, do you really want that person anyway? Trust me, I've been with some frogs, because I was raised to feel that no matter what I do, I am never good enough. Anybody that showed me like an ounce of attention or affection when I was little, I just latched onto. No matter who they were, no matter how bad they abused me. I've had boyfriends that hit me. I had a boyfriend that hit me square in the jaw. Never went to the hospital, never did anything, because I thought I was getting love. I thought that was attention. How gross. I don't know if this is like a narcissistic thing on my behalf. It could be. Because I believe, by the way, and this is something for some of the psychologists, there is a healthy way to be a narcissist. I think everybody has to have a little bit of narcissism in them. A healthy bit. There's obviously like the toxic narcissist that you must shoot immediately. Nobody shoot anybody. Or just, there are the assholes. Leave them alone. There's definitely a amount of self-awareness that is healthy that you need to have. And then it will draw that thing to you, because our world is getting faker and faker. And it's no wonder why so many people are hermits. I talk about this all the time. And it's weird because social media is for attention. We are using it for attention. But is that such a bad thing if our culture has pretty much forced us to become reliant on it? Our work forces us to be reliant on it every single day. And I've made mistakes, but I'm growing. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm very smart. And I don't say that with arrogance. I say that because I have had a lot. Never use fire to fight fire. Never underestimate somebody's intelligence and their awareness to understand situations that you yourself might not even be aware of that are happening presently. They will outsmart you in the end. No matter what you try, they will outsmart you. They will outsmart you now, they will outsmart you in the middle, they will outsmart you in the end. Because they've already played the entire game before you've decided which game you're gonna play. When you're picking your Monopoly piece, they have already passed go and bought up all the properties. Because they've played this game before. And that just comes from years of experience, years of hurt, years of pain, years of fighting for things, good things, years of loss. Never underestimate somebody else's ability to see. Never underestimate a person's ability to grow and change. People do change. It's rare, but they do change. And habits are harder to change, but they can change. Because they'll surprise you. And they'll surprise you when you least expect it. Anybody going through anything right now, keep going. And stand alone. Don't be afraid to stand alone. Especially if you are cast aside, discarded, thrown away after giving the best that you could. Flaws and all. It's not over. Somebody's garbage is another person's treasure. Somebody's trash is another person's trophy. We got this. We got this. And you know who I'm talking to. We got this. They play mind games with people. Don't fall into those traps. It reminds me of like when I don't remember how old I was. I don't know. Does it really matter? But I was some age. And I think it was in Cancun. And they had all these red and white flags up that said, don't go swimming because you're going to get sucked under the tide and you're probably going to die. And what do the minute I get there? I go jumping in the ocean. Yay! And then my body gets like rubbed up against all the stones. I get all scraped up, and then they had to like call the police because they thought I drowned. I didn't drown. I'm alive. I'm an alien. I don't know. I keep telling you people that, but nobody believes me. See, that's the thing with me. I'm very impulsive. You'll never know what I'll do. But I assure you of one thing, especially as I've grown. I may break down once. I may accept abuse once, and I'm talking about growing up from my parents, from our parents, from friends, from past boyfriends, relationships. You teach people how to treat you. It's not a meme and a cliche thing for no reason. If you put up with crap, expect more crap to keep being unloaded. And then don't come and talk to me when people are walking over you and they're kicking their shoes and they're dusting the dirt off because you've been a doormat. Because you said it was okay to be a doormat. It's not okay to be a doormat, ever, even to yourself. I'm different. I'm a different person today than I was yesterday. Psychologists will have a field day with that one. Now, will I be in a bathtub crying for 5 hours tonight, maybe? Depends. I have to see what I'm doing. And then I'll probably like look at a toy or something and break down and cry. I don't know. But hang in there. Everybody right now. This world is nuts. Don't wait until it's too late. Tomorrow isn't promised, and anything that makes you laugh or happy or feel silly, do that. That's really important to do. And I know it seems really hard, especially right now, especially for me, especially for anybody. Try to watch some happy stuff, and then you can watch like the murder shows later. Dark Crystal premieres this week. If you have Netflix, watch it. From the 1980s. They had this in development for quite some time. Hi, I'm Jamie Lee Fisher. If you have Netflix, make sure to tune into Dark Crystal, the reboot. I've been waiting, I think, 50 years for this to happen. It was one of my favorite shows. I think Goonies, Big, Neverending Story, Labyrinth is my all-time fave. All-time fave. And they're not paying me to do this, although they should. They were making a remake of this for a really long time, and I'm just really excited to see what they've come up with. So, Dark Crystal on Netflix, watch it. It's one of my favorites. I'm excited to see Jim Henson, one of my all-time favorite creative people of all times. He was a visionary, a creative genius, and we don't have many creative geniuses left, and we need creative geniuses. We need to foster creative geniuses. So, if you happen to see Dark Crystal, or if you've never seen it, first of all, why? What's wrong with you? Bye. So grumpy. You're so he's so grumpy. He needs food so bad. I love him, but he's grumpy.
No.
And he's hiding.
Okay in there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. Help me. Help me.
I've been sick once since I was 15 years old. Once.
Get me an orange juice.
Honey, you're funny when you puke.
So true.
It's an inaccurate impression. You're
I
bad
don't
at impressions. You do actually. What do you want to eat?
I don't really know. Because look at your position, though. No, don't!
You ruined it.
It's like he's
so
like
much fun.
He's laying on my lap, but his legs are all like he's in a stirrups. I just realized how big your head is.
Screw you then.
I'm filming you because your face is creeping me out. Oh my god! Bobby, my water! My water! Bobby! Oh no! My water just spilled all over the bed!
Why are you putting your water on the bed?
Ah, because I was drinking it.
Hey.
I filmed it. Party's going on downstairs, and I just wanted to come up here and do like a little confessional. We had an amazing photo shoot, but I'm like so socially, and poor baby, like this is such a short place, but this is the first time I have ever had you in my studio. But baby, you're here with me, and we're surviving. It just keeps piling more food and more food and more food and more food. He's 6 feet tall, but all right. Anyway, I'm gonna let him go because he's 6'6", but this is the first time he's ever been like in the studio with me. See how nice it looks though?
It is nicer.
All right.
You.
This is us. And we're so happy. All right, we're gonna try and... Thanks guys. Bye.